Could somebody please make it make sense?
Hey everybody, welcome to A Pop of Culture. I'm your host, the Esoteric and Facetious, and this is A Pop of Culture, which is my video essay podcast where I speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a Black, bisexual millennial perspective. Today we are going to be talking about the Will Smith Chris Rock collab that everyone is talking about. I have a lot of feelings about this. I've been thinking about this for the past few days, so let's get into it. So at the Oscars, Chris Rock was speaking and he decided to make a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. He compared her hair to G.I. Jane.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Because she has a very short, almost bald hairstyle. You can see very clearly that Jada and Will are not very happy with him making this joke. And Will gets so angry that he gets up and he walks towards Chris Rock. He strikes him.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
And then walks back to his seat. Then as Chris Rock tries to say, oh, it's just a joke, it's just a joke, Will Smith responds,
keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Keep my wife's name out your expletive mouth. Keep my name out your expletive mouth. It was a mess. A lot was going on. So what are my opinions on this? Let's start with the joke. So the joke is comparing Jada Pinkett Smith's hair to G.I. Jane. I don't think the joke was the most offensive joke ever, considering if you look at the G.I. Jane cover and you look at Jada Pinkett Smith, there is a clear similarity with what's going on. I don't think the joke was the most offensive thing ever, but I think once you understand that Jada Pinkett Smith has hair loss, that she has alopecia, it becomes a lot less funny. If you're someone like me who just thought that Jada Pinkett liked having short hair, you were just thinking that Chris Rock is just poking fun at a way that she likes to wear her hair. Because over the past few years, Jada Pinkett Smith has worn her hair short. And especially with her doing Red Table Talk, where it is this space, this show where she's talking about intergenerational issues, where she's talking about some of these topics that aren't really always spoken about, kind of really going there. I wasn't surprised seeing her having that short hair, because I feel a lot of Black women, they cut their hair when they're going through this kind of spiritual journey or rebirth. I feel like a lot of Black women who are into that kind of self-care and healing and just speaking the truth and unpacking and healing and all of that, I feel like they often have that short hair. Because I feel like for some Black women, cutting their hair is a symbol of choosing to not force themselves to be a part of certain expectations or beauty standards or norms. Let me know if anyone else felt that way. But of course, now we know, even if she did like having shorter hair earlier on, now, of course, with her having hair loss, it's not necessarily a choice. It is a choice in the fact that she could have wore a sickening lace front. It's a choice in the fact that she's being open about it. It's not a choice in she can't choose whether or not to lose hair. It's a choice in she's choosing to show her bald head and not hide behind the unit. When you realize that Jada isn't just wearing her hair like this for the heck of it, it becomes a lot less funny. Because this is how she, I'm assuming, has to wear her hair, because her hair is balding or is thinning. It's not growing the way it used to grow. And those are things that are usually not funny, things that people can't change. When someone can't help the fact that their hair doesn't grow the way it used to, like Jada Pinkett Smith, when they're open about the fact that this is a struggle for them, that this is something that they've had to work through, it's not funny to poke fun at that. So I think that's the big issue with the joke. When somebody has something that they can't change or can't change very easily, the typical rule of thumb is not to make a joke about that. Now, initially when I decided to talk about this, I was going to say something along the lines of, well, I'm not a comedian, so I can't really speak to what is and isn't okay when it comes to comedy. But then I thought about something very simple: time and place. This is the Oscars. This is a huge, big deal event. Chris Rock is somebody who's years and years and years into his career, and he knows how to act in these certain spaces. If Chris Rock did not know how to act in these certain spaces, he wouldn't be invited to them. And one of the things I thought about was, would Chris Rock, if he was invited to speak at the inauguration of the Obamas or an event with the Obamas, would he have even dared to have said a joke about Michelle Obama's appearance? And I think the answer is a very clear no. I thought about, would he have even tried to make a joke at all about Beyonce, who was also in the crowd? And my feelings are no. So for me, even though I'm not a comedian, I and anybody else can understand time and place. This was not the time and place to poke fun at Jada for a number of reasons. I would say the first reason why this wasn't the time or place to poke fun at Jada was because this is Will's night. Anybody anybody who is going to the Oscars, who is nominated for an award, this is their night. This is a big moment in their career. This is something that they'll tell their grandkids about. This is something that they'll probably think about when they're old and when they're looking back on their life and the things they're proud of. This was a big night for Will. I'm sure it's not his first time at the Oscars, but I feel like with things like the Grammys and the Oscars, every time you're invited, it's a big deal. Every time you're invited and nominated, it's a big deal. And that honor extends to anybody he's invited. That honor extends to the Smith clan. When it is somebody's night, when it's a special occasion for somebody, whether it be their wedding, whether it be them renewing their vows, whether it be their prom night, whether it be their graduation, whether it be the day that they graduate from college or from graduate school, you don't do things to poke fun at them or to upset them. You let them have their moment. The issue with Chris Rock was he didn't respect that this was Will's night and by proxy, Jada's night as a part of the Smith clan. I do think Chris could have made a joke that would have been something where he would have been laughing with Will and Jada and we would have all been laughing together. One of the things I thought that he could have said that would have been funny would have been something like, the only two black people I know who look better without hair than with hair are Steve Harvey and Jada Pinkett Smith. He could have done something like that where it's saying, you look good with this hair. He didn't have to speak on her hair at all, but if he was going to make a joke, he could make a joke that would be something where it's like you're complimenting her while also making a joke rather than poking fun at her. Now let's talk about Will. Do I think Will was right in coming up on stage and striking Chris Rock? I personally am someone who doesn't like people getting physically violent. I don't think anybody should put their hands on anybody. I'm not somebody who's just men shouldn't hit women. I don't think anybody should hit anybody. So I'm not really happy with the fact that Will Smith went and hit Chris Rock. But I also have done a lot of thinking about it, and here's my thing. Will Smith and Chris Rock both were in black sitcoms. I feel like black actors and actresses and creators, that's a small space. So I'm sure that they've interacted with each other in the past. While I don't necessarily love the fact that Will Smith slapped him across the face, I kind of feel like it wasn't the worst thing ever considering black Hollywood is small, black entertainment is small. So for Chris Rock to go on this show that is a very white-centered mainstream thing, this is a show that's watched by everybody. For him to go on there and poke fun at other longtime successful black creatives, that's an issue. While I'm not happy that Will struck him, I do think there is an issue with we're both black creators, black creatives who have put in work in this industry to get to where we are, and now you're sitting here joking on my wife in the space where all of us black people are being watched, all of us are being judged. I also wanted to talk about another element of the anger that I feel Will had, and that's kind of why I'm iffy on whether or not he should have hit Chris, because I feel like for me, I don't think all of that anger was just because Chris made a joke. I think some of this anger has been building up, and I want to talk about that. That's kind of one of the things I really wanted to tap into in this video. From what I've seen of Will Smith, he seems to be somebody who really wants to be this family man. A lot of people, when they would look to hashtag Black love and hashtag Black families, they would look to families like Beyonce and Jay-Z's family. They look at the Obamas, and they also look at the Smiths. Will Smith, I feel, has done a lot of work to curate this image of this happy black home. And he's done this in a lot of ways. He always included his child from a previous relationship in photos. He never made it seem like Willow and Jaden were his only kids. Him and Jada have been very vocal about the fact that they are cool with his mother. They have the co-parenting thing on lock. He's always shown himself to be a good father with Willow and Jaden. He's shown himself to be a good husband to Jada. Ever since the entanglement information came out, his image in that regard has kind of eroded. And what do I mean by that? People used to look at Will and Jada as the ideal, as what they wanted. People wanted to have a Will and Jada type of situation. And I feel ever since that entanglement information came out, Will Smith's status as this family man, as this good black guy, has been shattered a little bit in people's eyes. Here's what I mean by that. In my opinion, the Smiths are supposed to be black royalty. In my opinion, because of the way that they've built their brand, in my opinion, because of the career success of Will Smith, in my opinion, because of the career success of Jada Pinkett Smith, in my opinion, because of the career success of Willow and Jaden Smith, and in my opinion, because of the cultivated image of the Smith family as this classy, proper black family, they are supposed to be seen as black icons, royalty, people who are respected. In my opinion, Will and Jada are supposed to be people who can do basically whatever they want and people will support it. They're supposed to be at that level of Beyonce, Kerry Washington, Viola Davis, where they are class acts in the Black community where everyone loves them and respects them. My thing is, I feel like with the entanglement situation, that threatened that, because a lot of people respected Will and Jada for having this perfect relationship, the perfect kids, the perfect family. And I feel like the entanglement situation ruptured that image a little bit, because even though there were rumors of Will and Jada opening up their relationship, I feel they were still always able to present this united front where it was just a rumor. It wasn't something that was confirmed. But I think once the information came out about the entanglement, I think that started to erode the Will Smith family brand. And even though Will, of course, is still beloved, of course they had the Fresh Prince reunion, of course they have the Fresh Prince reboot, of course he had this movie, the Serena and Venus movie. Even though he has his own success with his own brand, and even though he's someone who's always working, I think the Smith family brand took a hit. I think the Will and Jada brand took a hit with the entanglement situation. I think Will struggled with the fact that his brand, that he's put so much time and energy into building, is starting to erode because of that entanglement situation. And I think some of that showed in that frustration and that willingness to slap Chris Rock so quickly. Because if you pay attention, after the entanglement situation, people laughed, people kikied, but people still respected the Smiths. They were still seen as legends and icons. Here's my thing, I feel the Smiths are still respected. I feel people still value them and their contributions to Black culture. But I think things have started to shift in a very short amount of time. While people turned them into a meme and the entanglement thing was a joke for a little while, things settled and everyone was moving on. But I think recently, with Laverne Cox kind of poking fun at them in the entanglement situation, I think that put them back in joke mode, where it was like, okay, somebody's coming for the Smiths. And I think if it had just been the Laverne Cox situation, they would have laughed it off and went about their business. But I think with Chris Rock poking fun at them very shortly after the Laverne Cox situation, I think was too much for Will. Because I think Will knows that he's a Black icon. He knows that he's someone who people respect and love very dearly. I think because Will has put so much work into his career and also his family brand, I feel it's upsetting to him that because of the entanglement situation, he's kind of turned into this joke. Because as I said earlier in the video, no one would joke about Michelle Obama in her presence. No one would joke about Beyonce in her presence. And if they did, it would have to be a very particular type of joke. So I feel like Will Smith's anger is coming from the fact that he is this Black icon, he's this Black legend. Him and his family are often seen as Black royalty, where people respect and revere them a lot. But because of the entanglement situation, and because of situations like the Laverne Cox situation and this new Chris Rock situation, it's becoming normal for them to be disrespected. I feel there is this incongruence between the amount of work Will has put into his own personal career and his family brand, and how they're being treated in the public eye because of the entanglement situation. So I feel like that frustration with this shift because of the entanglement and Jada's sharing of the entanglement, he's not happy. I think Will Smith wants to be seen as this great dad, this great father who is respectable, who does the right thing, who's been doing the right thing. And I think as long as people joke about the entanglement situation, as long as people feel comfortable coming for Will, coming for Jada, he's not going to be okay. From what I see of Will, it seems he wants that Beyonce and Jay-Z level respect across the board. He wants that Barack and Michelle respect, where him and Jada get to do what they want, they've got their coin, and they just get to go to these award shows and shake hands and have a good time. But because of the Laverne Cox situation, because of this Chris Rock situation, he's seeing that entanglement situation eroded their brand in a way where they're not taken as seriously. So that's where I feel the anger was coming from when he struck Chris Rock. I feel Will Smith is mad about the fact that he's no longer seen as this Black untouchable legend like a Viola Davis or a Kerry Washington because of this whole entanglement situation. And he projected his anger about this eroding personal and family brand onto Chris Rock. While I do think he was upset about the fact that Chris made a joke about Jada about a sensitive topic that Jada can't help, I also feel like part of the anger came from the fact that people, I feel, don't value him and Jada's union the way that they used to. Because now that people know that Jada and him are having extramarital situations, I feel people don't respect them the way they used to. So when people see Will with Jada on his arm at an event, it's like, okay, we see y'all are together, but are y'all really together? So I feel like Will wanted to defend Jada not only because he was upset about the joke, but also because he wants to prove to the world, this is still my wife, this is still my woman, and you're not going to disrespect her in my presence. So for me, my thing is, I don't like people putting their hands on other people, but I also feel like Chris Rock was being disrespectful to another Black legend and icon, and that's something you don't do. I feel whenever you're on a mainstream white mainly space like the Oscars, I feel Black entertainers need to have a solidarity gaining respect for other Black creatives and other Black people in the industry. I'm not happy that Will struck Chris Rock, but I also feel like Chris Rock, you knew what you were doing. And also, let's not forget, Chris Rock had Jada's name in his mouth before. So I feel like Chris Rock got away with it the first time. I also feel like some of that anger that Will had towards Chris was because he'd spoken on Jada in the past. So it's like, you're gonna get it for this time and last time. Overall, I feel the joke was insensitive, but I also feel like the joke was insensitive mainly because Chris didn't know about Jada's situation. And I also feel the joke was insensitive because it was Will and Jada's night. I feel he could have picked a better joke if he wanted to do a joke at all. And if you haven't heard, Will and Jada are going to be talking about it in the Red Table Talk. They're going to be discussing what happened, and I'm very excited to see that. Let me know if you want me to do a reaction to that video. Let me know your thoughts on my takes in this video. Love y'all. Bye-bye. See y'all in the next one.
Thanks for watching. Like this video if you like this video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the points I made in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and share. That way, even if YouTube isn't pushing my content, those who resonate with it are sharing it so it can connect with others who would enjoy it. Those are some easy, free ways to support a pop of culture. If you want to support this show financially, feel free to send a tip to my Cash App or buy me a cup of coffee. Both are linked below. All who donate will be featured in the credits of my long-form commentary and cover videos. There are 2 playlists that are going to pop up, one where you can binge watch my covers and one where you can binge watch my commentary. Enjoy. Bye-bye.